Today's video is brought to you by ABLmerch.com. You're able to get all the hats I wear in the videos, plus a large selection of other hats and t-shirts and hoodies and stickers through the link in the description box below. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Chris Matthews resigning from MSNBC live on air. Now, this is pretty big because he had been over there on Hardball since '99. If it were a baby born at that same time when he came on the air, we're talking about it graduating college right now. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a pretty big deal, but he resigned live on air and took everybody pretty much by surprise. I mean, when he announced his retirement, he was gone after the commercial break. They put somebody else in his seat and they didn't even really see it coming. They were kind of frazzled, like, how am I going to fill the hour? What am I going to do? This, that, and the third. And before I go any further, let's go ahead and watch his resignation clip. After we get done with this clip, I'll come back and talk about what he said in a little bit more detail. I'll give you my 2 cents, my analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Let me start with my headline tonight. I'm retiring. This is the last Hardball on MSNBC, and obviously, this isn't for lack of interest in politics. As you can tell, I've loved every minute of my 20 years as host of Hardball. Every morning I read the papers, and I'm gung-ho to get to work. Not many people have had this privilege. I love working with my producers and the discussions we have over how to report the news. And I love having this connection with you, the good people who watch. I've learned who you are, bumping into you on the sidewalk or waiting at an airport and saying hello. You're like me. I hear it from your kids and grandchildren who say, my dad loves you, or my grandmother loves you, or my husband watched it till the end. Well, after a conversation with MSNBC, I decided tonight will be my last Hardball, so let me tell you why. The younger generations out there are ready to take the reins. We see them in politics, in the media, in fighting for their causes. They are improving the workplace. We're talking here about better standards than we grew up with, fair standards. A lot of it has to do with how we talk to each other. Compliments on a woman's appearance that some men, including me, might have once incorrectly thought were okay. We're never okay. Not then and certainly not today. Next time the producer has to choose between a picture of more of Margaret Brennan and that oil derrick, that offshore oil derrick, stay on Margaret Brennan, okay? She's a beautiful woman. She's a very bright reporter. She makes us feel good. Bring back Margaret. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Back by popular demand. Happy Friday. And she's 6 feet tall besides. You're gorgeous. High heels are a big part of this for some reason. Maybe it's your photography, but women look great, of course, but you're always shooting the legs, shooting the shoes. Yeah. So now you're in a wind tunnel. You look great, by the way, in the wind tunnel. Your legs get caught in this. Everybody's looking at your legs, looking at the shoes. For making such comments in the past, I'm sorry. I'm very proud of the work I've done here. Long before I went on television, I worked for years in politics, was a newspaper columnist, an author. I'm working on another book. I'll continue to write and talk about politics and cheer on my producers and crew here in Washington and New York and my MSNBC colleagues. They will continue to produce great journalism in the years ahead. And for those of you who have gotten into the habit of watching Hardball every night, I hope you're going to miss me because I'm going to miss you.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, I'm not really sure where to begin. Let's just start with the whole sexual harassment or inappropriate comments thing. You saw where I added some of the comments he had made over the years in there. You know, that wasn't shown on air, obviously. I added that in there afterwards. But it kind of gives you an idea of the things they had been saying to women. Now, at a certain point in time, that was okay. You could tell a woman, you look nice today, you're an attractive person, you're lovely, all this, that, and the third. But nowadays, you can't really do that, okay? You saw the one look that the singer Janelle Monáe had on her face because she's lesbian, but that's a different story, and I'll move on. The whole point is that you can't say things like that nowadays. Now, I'm not really sure he would resign because of that, you know, because those things that have been happening in the past is not really a big deal now. I think that could be part of it. It could be some kind of internal strife or some kind of backlash against him because of that. But there's also the things he had been saying over the past few days. Okay, there was one kerfuffle where he mistook Jaime Harrison, who was running for Senate in South Carolina, with Tim Scott, the current senator in South Carolina. that wasn't really a big deal. I mean, that's an honest mistake, bald head black guy. To me, they look totally different, but to Chris Matthews, he don't know the difference, But anyway, that wasn't really that big of a deal, in my humble opinion. I think one of the bigger deals was when he compared Bernie Sanders winning in Nevada to the French and the whole Nazi Germany situation. You understand? I think that was a pretty big moment. People didn't like that too much. He had to apologize for that on air. So, the whole thing with Tim Scott, he said, I'm sorry right quick, and that was it. But with the Bernie Sanders and the French and the Nazis and him winning Nevada, he came on air to expressly apologize for that particular thing. Then there was an interview with Elizabeth Warren, after one of the primaries, or it might have been a town hall or something, where they were talking about this whole thing of Bloomberg allegedly saying to a woman that he employed or worked with that she needs to kill the baby or quote unquote kill it after he found out she was pregnant. Now, he was just asking her, like, how can we know that she was telling the truth? I mean, do we just believe her? And then she was like, yes, we do, because she's a woman and she said it. Now, that's crazy. I'm on his side with that. You can't just, believe somebody just because they say something. I mean, evidence, whatever happened to that. I mean, you can't get locked up over that, or at least you shouldn't be locked up over that. So maybe there should be a little bit more evidence required to say that a person said something or did something aside from one person's word, and that's it. No other contextual evidence, no pattern, no nothing. Just one person saying you did something, that's enough to believe it. That's wrong. But again, this is the culture that the left has created, this whole Me Too movement, and you got to believe all women, this, that, and the third. Now the proverbial chickens have come home to roost. Unfortunately for Chris Matthews, I think all those things, plus the sexual harassment or inappropriate comments thing in his past, have all kind of come together to just dump on his head. Okay. And then there may be some kind of cognitive decline, possibly. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. It's not like Creepy Joe where it's clear there's some cognitive decline. There could be some of that going on because Chris Matthews is not a spring chicken. He's 74 years old. So for him to be on cable news, you got to be quick on your feet. It might be kind of hard for him to do that at this particular point. Going to talk radio, going to like a YouTube channel or something like that, like Bill O'Reilly is doing. That might be more his speed at this particular point. And what I want him to do is be a little bit more vocal as a moderate kind of guy. I could be wrong, but I've always seen Chris Matthews as a moderate person. And there's not enough moderate liberal people speaking nationally. Everything is far left, far left, far left. Even if you don't want to be far left, even if you're not far left, you're being driven to the far left. This is Joe Biden's situation. He's not a far left guy. Policy-wise, he is moderate, if not kind of conservative at some points. But he's being driven all the way to the far left because of where the party is headed right now. Yeah, AOCs of the world run the party. It ain't Nancy Pelosi's party. She's Speaker of the House. That's just kind of like, a title on paper. It doesn't really mean that much. At the end of the day, the left, the far left, are dominating the party. And it's like a battle between the far left and the somewhat moderate left, which is why you have this whole thing against Bernie Sanders. Everybody trying to back Joe Biden, but that's a different story, and I digress. I think Chris Matthews is being caught up in that whole movement of the left political party in America going all the way far to the left, and he has to kind of pick a side on that. When he's giving interviews with people, you got to do it in a certain kind of way that will appease that side. At a certain point in history, not long ago, maybe you would need evidence to say that a person did something or said something aside from just one person giving their point of view. That could be politically motivated. Like, you can't ask questions like, is it politically motivated? Was there a relationship there? What's going on? You just got to say, oh, I believe her because she's a woman. At the end of the day, as I close, it's kind of a sad way for Chris Matthews to go out. I'm not an MSNBC supporter. I don't watch the channel. I'm not, going to be listening to Chris Matthews' podcast unless he goes in a different direction. But I think that a guy that's been around that long, that's that well respected and liked and loved by many, should get a little bit of a better send-off than just saying, okay, I quit right now. And then after I go to a commercial break, I'm just gone. And then a guy just takes my seat and he don't even know what's going on. It seems really weird, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Chris Matthews was fired from MS-13 NBC because of the things he had said in the past few days? The whole thing about Bernie Sanders' campaign and the Nazis, the whole thing about Pocahontas interviewing her, asking her questions about should you believe her, shouldn't you, get some evidence, the whole thing about Tim Scott and Jaime Harrison. Is that the reason why he is no longer there? Did he get fired? Did he resign? Is he having some cognitive difficulty? Or is it a thing that I've missed? What have I not said in this video that could be a reason why Chris Matthews has resigned from the network? Also, one last thing here before we close on out. Is it related to the whole Super Tuesday thing? Because let's be clear, he quote unquote retire on air right before Super Tuesday. And that's very important for him because he had been covering presidential elections in general. This is your go-to guy. He's going to be out there at the caucuses, the primaries, the debates, giving interviews, covering the whole thing for the network. And now he's gone. Is there a reason why that happened? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.